Hello, and welcome to the Rooks and Hooks YouTube channel. We are featuring the 7 games in the 5th Easter for NCL Easter Congress at Daventry, the Mercure Hotel 2025. And what a congress it was. I've had some good games, I've had some bad games, but we have learnt a lot, which is the main thing. So good big shouts out to everyone that's entered, the arbiters, the hotel staff, fantastic, lovely people. And yes, I think we're going to head up to Nottingham, but I do want to feature game 7 first while it's fresh in my mind, because this is probably the most exciting game that I've had. So without further ado, we'll crack on. There is a new feature where you can go onto the chess results server, copy the PGN and paste it in chess.com, and it's up there already preloaded, and you can do the review with the coach and everything. Let me just click on review. How does that change on the picture? Oh, we get that up there, do we? Okay, so if I just pause the video. Okay then guys, so in this particular game, the end accuracy for White was 78.9 and myself 91.8. We had no brilliant moves, no great moves. We had 7 to 16 best moves, 15 to 13 excellent, 5 to 4 good, 5 to 5 book, inaccuracy 4 and 1, mistakes 1, no mistakes for me, and a miss for me, and 1 blunder and 0. The game rating was 2150, mine was 2450. So is that an achievement in itself? You can't see the 1 second. All right guys, so can you see that gameplay 2450? Is that, there's the love, that's an achievement in itself. Rating by chess.com. Let me just see if that's gone up. Yep. And then we shall go back to evaluation and it's up there. So this was the Scandinavian. I will flip the board, and I wanted to emphasize for move 16 especially, because I've gone through it at home on my real life chessboard computer, and I looked at lead chess after. I didn't spot this until I got home. So there's a particular move order for move, let's have a look. There's a particular move order from move 14, and after 16 I think my opponent was going to do a bishop sacrifice to grab 2 pawns and then have initiative with the queen taking. And then first of all, I played it out earlier this afternoon and it became a perpetual 3-fold repetition. Excuse me, sorry. And then I went through it again and found a way for White to mate. So it'd be a rook down and a bishop down for 2 pawns, but we'll go through it. And this is why I didn't play bishop c5 on move 13. And they say 13's unlucky for some. I played rook d8 instead. Let me just, have I said that right? No, knight c5, sorry. Where are we? Rook d8. On move 16, I could have played bishop c5, but in fact I played rook d8. So without further ado, we'll just crack on with that. And these are book moves. Let me just click on review. So we've retreating the attack queen. Bishop development here for d4. I'm aware of all this. I'm just going to narrate what the coach is saying so you guys get a better understanding. So let me just come back 1 second. All right guys, just doing a bit of tinkering. So developing the knight and increasing influence in the center, another book move, knight f6. My proposed, as we know with the Scandinavian, I'm proposing building my center. The bishop's going to come here if they play knight f3. We're going to have knight c6 here. We're going to build our center. and have the pawns here. Bishop on d6, queen on c7. That's our setup for the Scandinavian. Thanks to Andrew Martin, I'm learning. I might be a slow start, it's taken me long enough, but anyway, let me just see that everything was just so coming up on the computer there, so just bear with me. See, yes, we're all good. So white develops the knight and attacks the center, but we put the knight for a pin with the bishop as planned, so I was feeling relaxed. As my last game, I got completely destroyed in the opening, embarrassed basically. Basically I was going red inside. I could feel my face going red because I knew I could play better, and I got spooked in the opening. But we'll get to that game. I wanted to do this because it's fresh in my mind, and it's such an exciting way it's panned out. So this is an inaccuracy. This overlooks an opportunity to kick a bishop. This permits the opponents to kick a bishop. It's helping me. I'm playing c6, so I've just got tempo now when I take the knight, and we don't have to play c6. We can in fact develop, so that's not a problem. This was an inaccuracy. They could have, well, if they'd gone back here, we were going to kick. They go here, and then don't do this, because I've done this in the Roy Lopez. They play this line and I take, and then they've got this, and you know, it's horrible. So inaccuracy on white's behalf. We're forcing isolated double pawns. Show idea. So that's the idea. Okay, gotcha. Let's retreat. So this allows the opponent to force isolated double pawns. Does it mean like if we attack here, show idea? Oh, does it mean these basically are isolated then? But it's got a defender. It's got a defender. I don't get that. But anyway, we'll be right back. Right. So this allows the opponent to force isolated double pawns. Does it mean we attack here, they take, and then we take with the bishop? So there's, right, oh right, okay, so we've got this, we take, and then it's got double pawns. I think that's what it means. Sorry, I'll get there in the end one day. So it was an inaccuracy. Bishop c4, this is fine. I played d6. It says I could take the knight here, but I didn't. I wanted, because I was gonna get a check here, maybe takes, and then let's just go through that then. So I didn't play that because I was thinking of this. Check, takes, we go here, and we're minus 260, so I don't know what I was worrying about, to be fair, but it's all different, isn't it? Or if he came back and I took, and this, and then we play this, we've got knight here. Yeah, it was all right, to be fair, but I thought play d6 first. It's just cementing the center, really. There's no danger of any sacrifices or kamikaze attacks, so that's why I played d6. The bishop is ready to be developed to an active square. So I was happy d6 and process of queen coming here, set up the battery for here like I always do in my Scandinavians. So they castled, and I have the follow up here is bishop takes, queen takes, and then queen takes d4. But again, I didn't delay this because, well, one, I didn't see it, and secondly, I'm so many times when I played the Scandinavian, the rook, and I get caught out on so many lazy games, but I was familiar with queen b6 and eyeing up here, so I already knew when this bishop was coming here. I eyeing down this square and this one, as we shall later see. Show follow up, queen, yeah, and the bishop comes back, and then I believe we were going to play bishop c5 in this setup. But yeah, first and foremost, I didn't see that there, so they castled. I took, then the queen's come into play, a new piece, and then we had knight bd7. Reason being is we wanted to get this first. So there's the free miss piece. Yeah, we've got that. So we played knight bd7, bishop to f4. So his process was to stop. He could see that maybe I was wanting to castle long, so he's just putting an anchor on that bit. As I know from a previous game, I castled long with the bishop there, and my opponent was unsure. They thought that I wasn't able to castle because the rook was going in the line of the check, but as long as the king, that's fine. So that was fine. I did think about this because there's a line where you play this in the Scandinavian, depending on how they recaptures knight, queen, and white's winning 3, 4, 5, 6. Either get 7, so they're plus 2.8. Really? Queen b6. This misses an opportunity to win a tempo by threatening a bishop. Okay, show the idea then. Oh yeah, knight. But I knew that was happening. I did notice that, but I just pushing the bishop back. So with that, my idea was either this, but then I saw queen b6 and the 2 pawns here, so I was like, yeah, great. Might be an inaccuracy, but then we had rook f, is it now? No, bishop came back to g3. So I believe my plan was I wanted the dark square bishop though, but then this, yeah, that was fine. So bishop's come back. This leaves a pawn. Oh, I see. He doesn't want me to get this pawn, so he brought it back. That's fine. The next move order, these bishops are immensely strong. They are immensely strong in the game, as we later find out. So I grabbed this. The pawn was free for the taking. I was thinking, do I play the bishop? I was thinking, this coming up. Oh yeah, that was it. I thought he was going to attack here. So that was it. Sorry, it's all coming back to me now, Celine Dion. So the knight was going to come here, right, and attack the queen. This leaves a pawn without defenders. But then the what do we play next then? Oh, we've got this, don't we? Yeah. No. show the trade then. Show the follow-up. Let's go back. Let's say knight comes here. So maybe that was an underrated move by myself. So I was thinking of something that my opponent was never going to play. What else was I thinking about in this position? The rook coming here. Right. And then I was good. Do you know what I mean? There was going to be a sacrifice here. Pawn, rook takes. So anyway, they went back. We took. Pawn was free for the taking, and then rook ad1. So I had to be careful here, because when I came back, I had these rooks already connected. They've got all their pieces developed. We've traded off a bishop and a knight. My rooks aren't connected. I'm not castled. And my bishop's ready to get deployed. Okay, so I'm thinking bishop c5. White's piece has moved to an excellent square, to a square with greater activity and control. Rook fe1 is excellent. So I'm like, yeah, let's wait for the queen to move about. We've got pressure, no problem. But then I thought, I've got knight here to attack the bishop, because that bishop was eyeing down, and I didn't like that bishop there. It was really annoying me. So first thought, I'm going to play knight c5 to get rid of the light square bishop. Don't know what. So I was like, okay, are they trying something with coming in here and checking, or bishop coming in here? I take. Let's just go through that. So if I take here, they's going to go check. I take, check. Let's see what happens now. Show tactic. Yes, they win a knight, so that didn't happen. So it's a good job we didn't play that. So it's like, okay, I've won a knight here, so we take. And then I was like, the rook takes. So he's given up a rook and a knight. So his process was two bishops active, and I've got one more rook and a dark square bishop. My pawns, the pawns haven't moved, and this is so like green pawn 34. So big shouts out to green pawn 34 on Red Hot Pawn, Jeff Chandler from Edinburgh Chess Club. He said, if you look at all the Grandmaster games that are 25 moves or less, you will notice none of the, he said to me, the lesson is glue. I've said this before on earlier videos, glue these pawns down on the board and leave these D and E pawns free. You have to learn to maneuver your pieces. And he says, I'm sure he gave percentages, it's high 90%. 90% of Grandmaster games, 25 moves or less, you will find that all the A, B, C, F, G, H pawns haven't moved. And this was such like a picture of Jeff quote in my mind at this position. So you guys are thinking, yeah, bishop c5, right? I think Stockfish and whoever else said bishop c5. Right, here we go. So this is the move order. Bishop c5, great move, right? Boom, boom, check. Right, this is, I calculated this, and this is what I didn't want. Look at that, 2.11. Right, it's check. F takes e6, right? Check, then perpetual. So let's just go through that again. Bishop c5, and then this. I don't have to take, but I have to take because there's a discovered attack, and then we're in all kinds of trouble. So the queen comes down, check. Okay. If we go here, king to f8, the opponent, this allows the opponent to force eventual checkmate, because bishop c5, king f8, sorry, rook d6, bishop takes, this is the move order. So is there a perpetual here? I go here, and then they've got, what do they play now? They've got this, check. I go here, they've got check here. Great. Now what do we play? 1 second. Okay, let's just go back. So we were saying bishop c5, bishop takes pawn, f takes, queen takes. Okay, I'm going to spin this around, right? So queen takes e6, check. Okay, bishop e7, blocking the check, right? Then perpetual. So I've got check here, king f8. I've got check here, king e8. I've got check here, king f7, and then it's perpetual. So I think this is what he was aiming for, right? So if we go back to what was it saying here? For me, I should castle here. Okay, so there is a way out, but whether I'd see this in the game, I would have probably taken, and then this, and then what was the line now? Bishop c5, or what have we got here? 1 second. Yes, so the line we had queen takes e6, bishop back to e7, then we had bishop to c6, sorry, bishop to d6. Then we've got king f8, have we? Bishop takes e6, rook d6. What have I messed up here? It's alright guys, pardon me, I was writing my moves down one after the other as opposed left and right, and I was reading it, playing it left and right. Right, that's why I couldn't, king can't go to f6. Right, let's start again. So we found a perpetual, that's why I didn't take the pawn. So we've got this line as well. Takes, right? Queen takes e6, bishop e7. If queen to d7, right? King f7, right? Is that a draw? That's a draw. So, but if the king goes to f8, bishop d6, right? Bishop takes d6, and then it's mate in 9. So queen takes d6, check. King f7, queen f4. I'm just reading off the book here. King e6. Okay. Queen e4. Well, you've got rook d6, queen e4, check. king f6, rook d6, king f7, rook d7 check, king f6, rook d6, king f7, queen e6 check, king f8, rook d7, and then the queen is forced to take here, we take, and then there's the mate, sorry, c6, and then or whatever, and then it's mate whatever. So yeah, that is why I'll just flip this back. That's why I didn't take the pawns on that's why I didn't play bishop c5, because I knew that was happening, and it was going to be bishop e7. What were they going to play next? Rook e1 maybe, queen d8 to protect, got bishop d6, we've got queen d7, queen takes d7. Hold on, what's the move for white here? Queen d7. Are you seeing all this, guys? Yeah, queen d e7, king takes d7. Bishop takes e7, rook h to e8, and then black's winning. So it would have been tough, because it's not always going to go the way that line of principles. So anyway, that's the reason why. So we'll go back to the position. Okay, wow, we've been 26 minutes. Okay, so that's why we played rook d8. I thought, yeah, let's get the rooks off the board. This threatens to force eventual checkmate, show checkmate, but my opponent was too strong for this. Boom, boom, and then boom. That was there, of course, but that wasn't going to happen. So queen came back to defend, and then I thought, well, I need to get that rook off the board and then get one of the bishops off, which is fine. There's a chance to castle now. So I still didn't castle after this move. Reason being is, if I castle now, I thought this was going to happen. This, and then we've got this. But looking at that, we were okay to castle. We were okay. So a solid choice. So that stops me from, oh, I see, he was planning this to get that pawn. Okay, so yeah, c3, and it's an escape square for the bishop to come down here and I down there. So if I was casting, this was the other reason the bishop's going to come down here, queen here to this square, sorry, right? So let's just go through that. They play this, I do this, queen here, I don't know, attack here, then the queen's got to drop back to here maybe to cover the square, or queen f3, sorry, queen f3 is better. Okay, so let's just go back. So that's why I still wasn't casting. I wasn't happy, I wasn't comfortable with casting there. So c3 solid, queen back to d8. I was trading the queens as well, but he didn't want to trade obviously, and then it was like I missed queen g4. I actually put exclamation mark here because it was a great move. So we cannot castle here. Well, we can, but they come here, and then we've got bishop f6, haven't we? And then what have they got? they've just got this, the bishop coming down here still, so you know, I was just thinking of this as well, but then they lose the bishop, don't they? Oh no, there's a check. So yeah, but we're still winning that way. So all this was worry over nothing, Ian. Was worry over nothing. So next move, queen back to d8, queen g4, and then I had bishop f6. So we're defending g7 pawn. Queen e2 is excellent, keeping it sharp. It was very sharp and tactical. A lot of open play here. I was offering the dark square bishop, didn't want. So I was like, I'm not having repetition here. And then the queen went on the back rank, and I thought, fantastic. All I've got to do now is occupy this area and castle, and then get the rook on d8, and we've got this. This was beautiful. Look at me, look how solid the pawn structures are. We still haven't, we've moved one pawn for white, we've moved 2 pawns, right? Fantastic. Castle, brilliant. So the problem was, now there was going to be this pawn later on was going to be like a discovered attack on the king, so I had to play c5 to stop this, but that was fine. Rook d8, double up. And I thought about this, but I could play c5 here, and if they take, I've got check here, winning the bishop back. So I thought about this. This is fine. Attack the bishop, and then I played the pawn up because I could have played c5 here. I could have played c5 here. Okay, so if he takes there, I've got check. King goes here. Oh, that's why, because if this happened, I couldn't get the bishop back. That's why I had to play the pawn first. So if he blocked it, I was never going to get the bishop. Or no, I had this, but then this pawn's here though. That's the annoying thing. Oh, we had this. No, we didn't. Okay, so that's why I played the pawn up, just in case the queen came up. So we had that. They take. Still didn't want to exchange queens here. Obviously not. Defending the pawn that was under attack. Double up. Fantastic. This is where I had to be careful now, because they could play this and then bishop check, or queen check, bishop takes. Actually, queen takes, bishop takes, check. It's all right. That's what I was hoping for, but the king came to g1 to stop the mate, because that was another process. I was going to come here, check, takes, and then it's mate. So he was on the ball with this. c5, and then we had the check here, so there was an outpost here, but this opened up things here. I could have played pushing a passed pawn. The idea was to just march this up, but then the bishop came on the diagonal. I thought, if I get in here, that's fine. I can get the rook up. We've got an attack here on the pawn. I was still happy with this. Made the pawn chain. So the bishop wasn't going to come and attack here. So we had that. That was fine. We were solid. Rook d8. Then the next plan was to come in here, but then we had the check. King out the way, which is fine. Queen back. So the queen, I still had to protect this square, because the rook was coming here. Yeah, check here. And my plan was here, if the king came up here, I was somehow going to get the rook on the check here, right, and then get the queen here. So if they came here, we had a checkmate. It went to h1. Attacking the queen to get the pawn here and then get a check. King comes here. Oh, that was it. I was going to try and get the rook and the queen on the back rank as well, so I could somehow get a checkmate, but the king could obviously come up here, so there was an escape. And then obviously the queen is eyeing down here, so my opponent resigned then. So simply because this, and then this, and then we've got that checkmate. So yeah, let me just pause the video.